But also what's really nice about that is if you have any friends that you think, oh, this could really help them out, they should hear this information. There's going to be a link and you can share that. So anyway, for those of you that don't know, you are at an Essential Oils 101 right now. So we're going to be talking super basics. And by that, I mean, we're not going to give you like all this information. We're just going to talk about what you absolutely need to know to start using oils. Some of the oils that we think are the super foundational ones. We're going to be talking about specifically Young Living's Premium Starter Kit oils, because these are actually the oils I got started with about 5 years ago. Peggy got started with them. Sophie got started with them. Joyce got started with them. Lindsay, I mean, a bunch of people on here already love and use these oils. So maybe you're here for like a little bit of a refresher, but these are just the oils that are good for literally everything. And we're going to talk about them throughout the night. So first thing, sorry, I'm on the wrong notes. First thing, type into the chat if you feel comfortable what things you would like to be able to use oils for. So maybe you have something, whether it's an ongoing issue. Once again, I want to just start this class by saying, like, we're not going to like treat or diagnose you or anything like that, but all of us are oil users. And so if there's something that we personally have experienced, we can speak to it in a way that we're like, I've experienced that and this is what has worked for me. We're really wanting to like equip you to be able to use oils and also to be able to research. And we're going to talk about some resources at the end that will help make using oils easy for you. Okay, so if you have anything, Lindsay says she got oils for headaches and anxiety first. Sophie said dandruff, sleep issues. Yes, my reason I got started with oils was for emotions. I had really bad anxiety. I still have anxiety, but it's way better because of oils. So that's my big thing. But if you haven't typed into the chat, so we got skin issues, thyroid issues, just overall like health support, raise your hand if you could use support in any of the following ways. The oils we're going to be talking about today are really good for all of these types of things. So emotions, you could use help with supporting your emotions. If you could use help with supporting your immune system. I feel like that's a really big one right now. We all need to be staying well and staying our healthiest, and also like the stress aspect of if we're stressed out, we're going to be sick, more susceptible as well. Digestion, if you have any type of issues with that or need support with that. We got Brenda's waving her hand way up. What about energy? Anybody need help with some energy? Mental clarity, that's a big one for me. Muscle support. So maybe you work out, or maybe your body just gets tired doing just regular old stuff. Sleep, skin, and hormones. So all these are some pretty typical things that that looks like a lot of people were raising their hands that we want support with. And the good news is oils can really help support a lot of these things. So we're going to talk about first what oils are and how to use them. So I'm going to kick it over to Peggy and she's going to talk about that.
Essential oils were something that, if you're not familiar with them, when I first heard about them, I had some, as I call her, a hippie skippy type of person who just talked about essential oils basically from the standpoint of them being smelly. They smelled good. And she was into bringing fresh flowers in and burning candles and things like that. So that wasn't really me. And so they weren't appealing. And I actually got a little bit upset at the whole word essential. Like, why did they say they're essential? And then I realized that's like what they're named. Nobody made that up. But the reason they're called essential oils is because they are the lifeblood in the plants. So if just like we have a body and that body has to have blood circulating, and we think about what that blood does throughout our body, it's a very similar thing in plants, that all the nutrients and everything that happens to make that plant live and thrive is in the essential oil. And we get those aspects, and God has created the plant world for us to sustain ourselves in our diet, and also with these essential oils and for all kinds of things. So there are 3 basic ways that we can use our essential oils. We can use them aromatically, which means, yes, we have our diffuser, our beautiful desert mist diffuser. That is one of the primary things that comes with our premium starter kit. There are other options, but that's the one most choose. We can also just literally take oils and drop them into our hands, rub them together, and just huff them right over your face. That's called tinting. You can also just smell them straight from the bottle. And so those are the basic and main ways that we use them aromatically, diffuser and even just tinting our hands. Another is topically. That just means putting it on your skin. We do have to be a little concerned, like, okay, you see Hannah has a roller bottle and she's probably got a nice little mix in there. In our kit, we actually have a roller bottle fitment that comes, and this is a patent pending design and has a different cap. So you can get them through Young Living, or you can get bottles like Hannah was showing. That's one way to put them on topically. And generally speaking, when we put blends together like that, we'll add a carrier oil in, and a carrier oil is a fatty oil. It's the other type of oil. We have essential oils and we have fatty oils, and fatty oils are the ones that we usually cook with. So coconut oil, avocado oil, I don't usually use olive oil because the smell is pretty distinct. A grapeseed oil, almond oil, jojoba, there's all kinds of carrier oils, and we use them. But not all oils can or should be put on your skin directly. You can use the carrier oil to what we call dilute. It's not like diluting like you're watering it down. It's diluting it, meaning it spreads it out across your skin so that if it's a hot oil that has like mint or something in it, your body is literally trying to pull it in as fast as it possibly can. It ends up being like a red spot. So we dilute. If you happen to ever have that, just put some carrier oil on it and you'll be fine. So that's topically. And the third way is internally. And we do have a line of oils called our Vitality line, and they come in a white label as opposed to our colored labels. And this is how you know that this one can be used internally. That happened to be lemon. But we have resources, and we know that those oils are GROS certified, meaning they're generally regarded as safe for internal use. Not all oils are like that, and so we have resources and we'll help you out with that. But you can take them just directly. Like I will put them in my water. I make lemonade and I put them in like that. You can use veggie caps. You can even buy them from Young Living and put them in that, maybe with a carrier oil, and take them like a pill. Or you can put them in your food. You can put them directly on or under your tongue. But again, we've got ways that we can help you know which ones are GROS certified. So now I'm going to turn it over to Hannah, and she's going to tell you why it matters which essential oils we use or have.
Kind of piggyback off of Peggy. So I actually really love cooking with oils. That's actually one of the ways I use oils the most. But I wouldn't just use any random like Walmart or Whole Foods oil to put in it. And there's several reasons for that. So first, I want to ask, has anybody ever heard someone say that essential oils don't work? Or maybe you've tried oils. An issue I hear a lot is people who struggle with sleep, and they try to use oils for sleep, and they're like, well, that just didn't make me sleep. And a big reason for that is because quality absolutely matters. So two things that go into that is the distillation process. So Peggy didn't really touch on this, but essential oils are typically steam distilled. So what that means is they put all the plants, all the lavender in what looks like this, kind of like this big pot. Steam bubbles up, and when it goes through, it is making the plant release essential oil. It's going through, and then they separate it from the water. That's the short of it. And so when certain companies, not Young Living, which we're going to talk about what Young Living is different, what makes them awesome in just a minute. Peggy's going to share that. But a lot of companies, what they do when they distill oils is they actually make oils from third and fourth distillations. So what the heck does that mean? The example I always use is, say you're going to brew coffee. So you have your coffee pot, you have your grounds in there, you're about to brew a nice cup of coffee. And so you turn it on, the water goes through the beans, comes into your pot. It's a nice dark, like it looks like it's going to be a delicious cup of coffee. You pour it into a cup. Then let's say you decide that you're going to use those same grounds, you're going to pour more hot water through it, go through. That coffee that's going to be in that second pot is going to be still kind of dark, but it's going to look a little bit different. Well, then you do it a third time, and then you do it a fourth time. And what do you have by the fourth time you brew those same grounds? It's going to be really light. And the difference between that coffee and the first coffee is going to be like, you can't even compare those things, because this coffee is dark and it smells amazing, and it's got all these different notes that if you're a coffee snob, you can distinguish. This coffee over here is like watered down. If you put creamer in it, it wouldn't even taste like coffee. Like, it's not even the same thing. So a lot of companies, what they do is they just use that same plant material over and over again so that they can stretch it, so that they can spend less money, which is why, if you notice, a lot of essential oils are cheap. Sophie actually told me that she went to the dollar store and saw essential oils there. So anyway, that's just blows my mind. But so they use the same plants over and over again, so they're able to stretch it. So that's the first thing, is how they're distilled absolutely matters. You don't want the same stuff being used over and over again, because it's losing its properties. It's losing the therapeutic properties, what makes it be able to do the things that it does. So if you're using lavender for sleep and it's this lavender over here and not this, it's probably not going to help you sleep. The other thing is when they do that, so they've stretched this and stretched this, one of the things it's going to lose is its smell, which is the whole reason most people like essential oils, is because they smell yummy. So what they're going to do is to stretch the dollar still and put some of that goodness back into it. They're going to put synthetic stuff in there to make it smell good again, which is cheaper. And so then you also have all this junk in there that you don't even know, and that they don't even have to put on the label, because the laws for labeling essential oils have not been updated in like, what, 70 years, Peggy?
Something like that.
A very long time. They've not been updated. So you end up having what's not even a real pure essential oil, and wondering why it's not working, and believing that they don't work when they do. Just what you have is not essential oil. So quality absolutely matters. The purity, how it's made, all of that. And so Peggy is going to talk about what is different about Young Living versus the grocery store oils.
Well, this is the very thing that sets Young Living apart more than anything else. And we call it seed to seal. And I'm going to break that down. Seed, the seed that actually goes in the ground, all the way through the process to putting the seal, the label on the individual bottles. And the reason we talk about that is Young Living manages the process from beginning to end. And actually, you have to step back a little bit. We have our own resources of seeds that no one else has. We have our own catalog of seeds that no one else has. But our farms have standards that are so much higher than organic that they make organic look ridiculous, actually. We do not allow our fields to have ever had pesticides on them for anything less than 50 years, and we prefer never. So we own our own farms, or we have partner farms, and the partner farms have to maintain the same seed to seal standards, and Young Living manages that all through the process. There have been many times we have lost millions and millions of dollars because in the process of seed to seal, there are 18 different tests and 3 tests each time. And if it fails at any point, even if it's right up to the point of bottling, they will throw out the entire batch. And we have lost millions of dollars at times when they've done that. But other companies would have let that pass. We won't let that pass. And so it really comes down to, it's not just about money with us, because we could have sold that. We could have bottled it and sold it, or we could have sold it to another company and let them bottle it, and we would have made some profit, but we won't. There's a story of a man that had one of the farms, partner farms, and right at the very last, the batch had been found to be, or his produce had been found to be a problem. And instead of Young Living just like saying, we're not going to buy, we're not going to use your plants, they went in and figured out where the problem was, and it had something to do with the water supply. And they fixed the problem so that the farmer could continue. So we just have the incredible standards. But when I say we own our own farms, that sounds really nice, but I want you to know, no other, I want you to hear that, no other essential oil company owns its own farms. We're the only one. So every other company is basically just an oil broker. they're getting their oils from somewhere, and they do not know the process, and they might do testing, but they don't know every part of the process. And as Hannah was talking about the distillation process, you have to understand there's, I think it's Cyprus that has something like 87, no, it's got 200 and something constituencies in it, meaning individual little things that we want to have all of. And Gary Young did all the testing and just intensive testing and figured out that you have to distill it for something like 18 hours at a particular temperature. And after it has been harvested at exactly the right time, also with all the testing. But if you're like 1 hour less, you lose almost all the constituencies. If you're 1 hour later, you lose pretty much everything. And most companies out there only distill for like 8 hours when we go the full 18. So think about what they don't have in that oil. And that's what Hannah was talking about. It's not as potent. It's not as good because they didn't even know what to do. And our research from our founder is one of the things that sets it apart. All the other companies are trying to like borrow our research and figure things out, but they don't have what we have. So our oils, as I was saying, throughout the entire process, they're tested in-house because they have to manage that process. But we also have third-party testing. That means another company that has nothing to do with us gets the oils and they test them also, so that we have that oversight and that we can say we definitely have third-party testing. There are zero pest control that is anything other than natural. I love this one. But they actually found a breed of sheep that will not eat the lavender plants, but will eat all the weeds around the lavender plant. They had tried different goats and different sheep, and they kept eating the lavender plants, which kind of defeats the purpose. But they finally found this one breed. And so think about that. Those sheep are doing the weeding for us, or we hand weed a field. If they use weed killers on a field, it just takes a few dollars to do a field, but to hand weed a field over the course of a year is thousands and thousands of dollars being spent. But that's what we do. Pest control comes from a byproduct of the essential oil process, like the hydrosol that comes, the water that comes. We'll use that from particular distillations, and that's what we use for pest control. We do not use pesticides. Otherwise, there's zero of that. And we have, again, our founder started this company over 25 years ago, and no one else has been able to, they can't catch up with us because we have so much more than they'll ever be able to have. We have the greatest selection of oils. We have over 700 products, with less than half of them being just essential oils, but everything has essential oils in it. So we are one-stop shopping. I know many people that have come because of that, because they're like, you have makeup, you have baby products, you have personal care products. I mean, just about anything that touches your body or impacts your body, we have it, and of really excellent quality. But you also get with Young Living, from Young Living Corporate, from us, from our teams, we have support, we have community, we have stuff like this that we can do together. And like my daughter Sophie is on here, and Lindsay's on here, and she's in my downline, but Joyce is not in my downline, and Hannah's not in my downline. We're just friends that are working together and just get to support each other. So the community is better than anything I've ever experienced, and it's a wonderful part of Young Living. So I could go on, but I will slow down, and I'm going to let Hannah start talking about some of the oils we want you to get started with.
And I'm just going to say another thing too is Walmart is not going to, like, a person's not going to come home with you and tell you how to use your oils.
Right.
So I'm just saying, you can buy them, but then you're not going to have anybody to show you how to use them. And really, all of us, we want to equip you to be able to find the information. I kind of started by saying that, but also we are here to hold your hand and help you, because people helped us do that, and that's what made us fall in love with these and learn how to use them and all that. So anyway, I have my kit. We're going to start walking through the oils. And like I said, these are the oils we got started with. They're just super foundational, so they're going to help you with all the things. I'm going to talk about a few of them, and then Peggy's going to talk about a few of them. I actually am going to start with my favorite in the kit, which is Valor. So Valor is, if you raised your hand about emotions, like I said, I have anxiety, and so this is an oil that I use before I go to bed and when I wake up in the morning, because I typically start my day anxious, or before oils, I started my day anxious, and still sometimes I'll wake up and feel like, so it's a really great oil to use. It's known as the Bravery oil, so all things emotions. And if you have sleep issues, snoring related, if your spouse snores or you snore, it's a great one to put on your big toes for that. The next one is called Panaway. This is actually the first oil in my starter kit that I used up, and it was like gone in like 2 seconds because I was a server when I first started with oils. And so I popped, in the starter kit, you get a couple of roller fitment tops. So I popped that on here and I rolled it on my shoulders, on my shins, everywhere, because it is so good for muscles. But also if you get, if you get headaches or neck tension, that's a great thing to use it for as well. It's a good one to add in the bath. Next, we've got frankincense. Y'all, this is the last oil I used because I was really intimidated, because my only experience with frankincense is that I knew it was a gift to baby Jesus. And I was like, this has got to be like an expensive oil. I don't want to use that until I know how to use it. But now I use it every day. Particularly, I put it on my face because it's great for if you have any type of uneven skin tone. And it's also really great. I have horrible nails, so it's great for cuticles and things like that. It's also really grounding too. So if you're struggling with emotions in this season and you need to feel grounded, it's a really good one to just do the tenting like Peggy was talking about. Put it in your hands, breathe it in, or put it on your feet. Next oil. Raise your hand. Was anybody, did anybody say digestive stuff? I know Brenda's raising her hand all the way up again. So Digize is the oil that made me believe in oils. Because even though I started using them, I was at the beginning, I was like, well, these smell nice. They make me a little happy. Like, they're kind of cool. But this is the oil, the first time like I had acid reflux and I felt like, ugh, I put a drop of this under my tongue and I was like instantly a believer, because this is the oil that is, it feels like magic. It starts working whatever tummy issue you have going on. It is just magical. And I get car sick as well, so that's another thing I love to use it for. Lindsay, yes, Digize convinced your husband. That's a husband convincing oil right there. Absolutely. Citrus Fresh. So Citrus Fresh is a really good one for emotions too. The citrus oils are just really happy. They help with like feelings of like stuckness, which I don't know, but that's an emotion I've felt a lot with just where we are in life right now with all this craziness going on in the world. It just kind of feels like we're stuck in this moment and we don't know when we're getting past it. So that's a really good oil for that. It's also really good for cleaning. So if you've been quarantine cleaning, it's a good oil to add to that. Or if you have odors, whatever, if you have pets, it's a good one. The last one I'm going to talk about before I hand it back over to Peggy is Thieves. A lot of people have heard of Thieves. This is like, everybody needs this in their life. Put it on your feet, put it in your tea. It smells like Christmas. It tastes cinnamony and delicious. It's real. I love it in tea with honey, and I'll even add some lemon too. It's just really good for soothing. Anytime I get any type of tickle in my throat, I immediately use it. So this is just a really good immune supporting oil. So if you were like, I need immune support right now, you need this oil in your life. Okay, Peggy's going to talk about the rest now.
Okay, I'm going to talk about three kind of together, because one is lavender that Hannah was talking about earlier. Lavender is awesome. It's probably, if you have smelled anything ever where essential oils are concerned, you probably have smelled lavender. It was the first one I remember talking to Lindsay about when she was getting her kit, because she had gotten somewhere else. But lavender, peppermint, and lemon together are what we call our classic seasonal allergy blend, and you can add Copaiba to it also. But this was the first set that I used. When I got my kit, I opened it up. I really didn't know what to do. I used these three oils probably for a year before I use just about anything else. But individually, you can use lemon to take sticky labels off. You can add it to your water. You can add any of these. You can add peppermint to your water as well. I put peppermint in my coffee every day. Peppermint has been shown by some other studies that is really good to help open up your breathing and oxygenation. So you could put this on your mask if you're going out, and you could breathe better if you were to do that, and it smells great. Peppermint's also good for headaches. Tastes good. Great in, like, if you want to make some peppermint tea. So those are those three. There's tons of uses for them, but lavender also is for relaxation. We also have one that's called Stress Away. And you notice I have my different cap on it. This is the one I have my roller on, because this is when you open your kit, you pop your roller fitment on it and roll it on your neck, and you're in love. I mean, this is like Lindsay's favorite oil. What do you think Stress Away might be for? Getting rid of some stress or taking care of stress. Another is Peace and Calming, kind of similar idea, but just calming things down. I actually had a family over one time, and their young boy had he was just acting up. He had some behavioral, like some learning disabilities and some behavioral issues as a result of it. And we put some of this, just rolled it on the outside of his ear, and literally watched him calm down. It was like incredible. I use this with my dog a lot. I'll rub it on my hands and then just rub it on her fur, because she has anxiety for storms and other things. But it's a good idea if you're going to work with your dogs like that, to do that in a non-conflict time, so that they just like it and it's not related to the trauma and the stress all the time. So it's just a great to have and use. And then the last one I'm going to talk about is called Raven. You notice it has a different kind of cap on it, because this is kind of child-proof. Notice, because this has wintergreen in it, and Panaway does too. And so we don't want this in the hands of children. But it smells fantastic. It's great for breathing. So wintertime, I would use this. It'd be another great one to do in a mask. I got some little misters the other day, and I put some Raven and peppermint in it with some water and some witch hazel to be able to refresh or freshen your mask, or just freshen the air if you're in a room or something like that. I'm also going to talk about a few more things that are in the kit real fast. We have Thieves Spray. This is already pre-mixed. You can reuse this bottle. I keep this in my purse. It's great for handles anywhere we're going, so we don't have to touch them, like gas pumps and doorknobs. And I spray down the restaurant table. You can spray down toilet seats. You know, this is great, especially if you've got kids and you have to go into these nasty places. We also have Thieves Hand Purifier, or hand sanitizer. Awesome and excellent, better than anything out there. Most hand sanitizers that are out there on the market have nasty chemicals in them, and they're really bad for you. Denatured alcohol is horrible for you, but this is alcohol denatured. No, it's not denatured alcohol. It's rubbing alcohol, the wood alcohol that's really bad for you. This is alcohol denatured, which is not denatured alcohol. This actually comes from the peppermint oil. That's how we get it. And then it's got the Thieves blend in it as well. Awesome. And I believe because this bottle is out of stock, they're actually doing individual packets. So you can, like, it, I think it's 5 or 10 packets that you're going to get instead. And you can just stick those in your purse and take them with you and have them on hand always. Another is our Ninja Red, and this is in the packets. It also comes in bottles. This is our antioxidant drink. I would put this in the refrigerator, then you pull just tear the cap off, and I just drink it, or you can pour it into another glass, or I like to put it in with my lemonade. So those are some of the amazing things that we have in the kit. We've run through them really, really fast. And I'm going to turn it over to Hannah, because she's going to tell us about some resources, because right now you're probably going, oh my gosh, I can't remember all of that. That's okay. You have us, and Hannah's going to help us know some resources, and you would have groups and other things. But go ahead, Hannah. We can't hear you.
I am muted.
Okay.
I know with these glasses, I look very smart. But in the beginning, I was not so smart about oils. It took time. And so a lot of the times people look at you and go, oh, I can never use oils like you do. But in the beginning, if you saw me 5 years ago, all I did was diffuse my oils. All I did was smell them every day, and I still got lots of benefits from using my oils in that way. Like I said, they helped me with emotions, they cleaned my air, they replaced my nasty candles because I was a candle addict. So lots of benefits, but I started there and I slowly started to learn how to use them more. And some of the tools that really helped me was, one, I have what's called this pocket reference guide. What's really awesome about this book, which everybody should have, most of the time, if you have an awesome friend that helps you get started with Young Living, they gift you one because, like I said, we want to empower you to use your oils and to do your own research. What's really nice about this is it's got all of the oils that Young Living has in the front, so you can look them up. Sophie's got hers. You can look them up and see what they're for. So if you forgot everything just dropped out of your head that we just talked about, you can have this resource. It will tell you how to do that. A really cool thing about this book also, though, is the second half of this book is full of usage. So you can look up things like hormonal acne. You can look up things like muscles, all different types of skin issues and all different types of hormone stuff. Whatever that it is, there's probably a thing in there, and it'll give you suggested oils to use. So that is a really great resource to have. But besides that, we also have several resources that I use like every single day. One of them is our Facebook group. So we've got a wellness Facebook group. You can go in there. People are constantly sharing testimonies, sharing how they're using products, but there's also a really great search feature in there. So if there's something that you're trying to figure out how to use oils for, you can go in there and you can search. You can actually post in there as well, and people will respond and tell you, well, this is what worked for me. Maybe it'll work for you. And then the last thing is our group. So like Peggy was saying, we're all one big group. We kind of split off a little bit, but our big group as a whole has an app. Yes, Sophie's like, we love each other. We have an app, which is so helpful. There are so many recipes, ideas on how to use products. My favorite feature of all in there is the wellness assessment. So there's a little quiz that you can take, and it's going to tell you what your like number one health like issue / goal should be, and it's going to suggest products to you that are going to help. Because like Peggy was saying, Young Living is like, all of us got started with oils, but I still use oils every day, but I use all of these products, like probably more. Like I brush my teeth, I clean my house, and no matter what, I'm getting the benefit of essential oils every single day in some form or fashion. And I'm using like good, clean products. So anyway, thank you all so much for coming, and we're going to open it up now to some questions. So if anything stuck out to you, if anything was unclear, unmute yourself, or if you don't want to talk, you can definitely type into the chat. What does the app icon look like? I'll show you, Chelsea. If you go to lifestepsapp.com.
Mom is showing it right now.
Oh,
yeah.
Put it up more.
The blue, it's like a teal block with like white leaves on it. So, and then Hannah's got it. It's right next to her yellow MailChimp. So it's Life Steps. Yep, that's a good one.
Super helpful.
And it's free. If
anybody was free to the members in our group.
Yeah, it's free. There is like a business side that all of us like to use, but like for any member that just wants education, it's totally free and it's really great. Like it's probably one of my favorite things about being on this team.
I know. I clicked in it and I was like, oh, practice is perfect for practice 7 best essential oils for yoga. Oh, 5 reasons essential oils are for everyone. I need to read these.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I actually did the wellness assessment today, and I've been doing Young Living for like 3-4 years, and it actually picked like all of my favorites, like my stress away. It actually gave me like the feelings kit or the emotions kit, which is like all of my favorite oils. It was good. It was spot on.
Okay, cool.
April, is it okay if I ask your question out loud in case it's for anybody else? She private messaged it to me. So. But I don't know where you are. Is she still on? April? Oh, yeah, yes. Oh, you are. I was like, where are you? I don't see you. So April asked what oils are safe and good for kiddos. So I was about to type back, but I was like, I'll ask if I. So Peggy mentioned that 2 of the oils have the safety caps. So Panaway and Raven are not oils we would suggest to use on kids, but all the rest of the kit oils are good oils to use for them. The only difference is you might want to dilute them more for small kids than like if you were using them on yourself.
Okay, and that means those are the ones that they could eat as well, like the ones that need to be ingested?
So any of the white label ones, yeah, they could ingest them.
Okay.
Sorry, Lindsay was holding up Gentle Babies, and Mom was holding up, what is that one called? The drops of.
Let's Talk Kids, A Drops of Adventure.
So there's a couple of really good resources. Gentle Babies is probably my absolute favorite because it really breaks down the safety part of it too. So like it talks a lot about like dilution ratios depending on like age, you know, of your kids and that kind of stuff. As far as like consumption, because you're using so little oil and like, I mean, I'll use like a gallon thingamajigger for lemonade. I'll use like 5 drops of oils. You know what I mean? So like it's so safe at that point for your kiddos. But if you really want to be like super confident in it, I cannot recommend reading Gentle Babies enough. It is so, so good. But sorry, Hannah, what were you saying?
Thank you.
I was also going to say we do have a whole line called Kid Sense that is pre-diluted oils that are good for kids too. So,
Okay.
Here's one of them.
Yeah, and we actually own all of them even though we don't have kids, but I feel comfortable using those on my pets. I also like them because they're just easy for us because like I was saying, I have really sensitive skin, so I can't always use oils like directly on me, so it's nice to have oils that are already pre-diluted so that I can use them on me because I guess I'm like a kid. But.
Awesome.
We also have products for children in the whole Kids Scent line. And as a matter of fact, we just came out with one that's a supplement called Unwind. And it helps them relax and their mind to shut down at night. It does not make them drowsy. And so when they wake up the next day, there you go, Lindsay loves it. When they wake up the next day, their mind is clearer because they've had a good night's sleep.
Do you know what are the main ingredients in that? Do you happen to know offhand?
L-theanine is one of the main supplements, and so is magnesium. As far as like makeup of it, let me grab it really fast.
Thank you so much.
It has lavender and Roman chamomile in it too, the oils.
Does it say on the back of the packet what's in it, Lindsay?
It doesn't say on the little packet. I don't have the box with me, but it does say on the box. But yeah, I know it's got lavender and Roman chamomile oils in it, which are so good for calming and relaxing too.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
Erythritol, xylitol, magnesium, natural watermelon flavor, and stevia leaf extract. The like other stuff is L-theanine. I'm trying to see what else. 5-HTP, lavender, Roman chamomile.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. I like that it's real simple. It's like sweetened and oils.
That's great.
We also have shampoo, we have lotion, there's a whole line of kids scents. There's also baby products. We have specific for babies, so they're very gentle and can be used on babies. Like we have wipes that I use every day on myself.
Awesome.
For my makeup. Sorry, I don't use wipes. But I have them like in our picnic stuff though, and we can wipe our hands off and wash our hands off. So I love using those. And I have a story where I gave some to a couple and their daughter, like every baby gets diaper rash at some point, right? And we all know we got to clean that little tushy off, but it hurts because of the diaper rash. And their baby was screaming bloody murder because her little bottom hurt so much. And he grabbed what he called my smelly wipes. That's what he called them. And he said she didn't even cry. They didn't.
That's fantastic.
Not hurt her at all. So so good questions about children, because we do want, one of the things we always say is start low and go slow. Like 1 drop and see how that goes. Test it out on their skin somewhere. And then resources like we've already shown to help you and guide you, because, you know, they're precious and we don't want to overload their systems. Great question.
Thank you.
Thank you for answering Crystal's question, Sophie. about the VitaFlex. We also have VitaFlex points in our hands as well that are connected. I, to be honest, thought that was the most woo-woo thing. I also did not believe in the chiropractor. So like oils is really what started me on like this hippie journey of learning about all these things and how everything in our body is connected. And then I started going to the chiropractor, and that's actually what made me believe in this stuff too. And there are charts in this book that will tell you about VitaFlex. So like if you have kiddos and they struggle with falling asleep, you can rub oils on their feet on those spots. Or if you struggle with sleep, make your husband or your wife or whatever rub them on your feet.
There's also spots on your ear, like the outer, not inner. You do not ever put oils inside your ear, but on the outer part, there's like emotion points that you can connect to. And
like the cartilage part, is that what you're saying? Like this? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You don't ever put oil inside the ear.
Well, and even like certain ways that you tug on your ears. So like you don't put it in, but I've seen where you can put it on the tips, and you don't put it in, but you just tug. You know, like right here, and like pulling it down, that can do some really good stuff.
Like you can manipulate the whatever that little flappy thing is.
The date, is that the one where people get pierced for migraine, like that thing?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and it's a similar idea. And I know people that have done that and had some success, but it doesn't last. That's been what they've told me. So it's we have specific oils also for migraines, but even from the kit, we were talking about peppermint, we were talking about Panaway, any of the pain related, usually mint is great for that.
Okay.
Rachel, I don't know if you saw, but Crystal, apparently you accidentally messaged Crystal every single one of your questions.
Y'all are best friends now.
So Crystal, what do you have to say about it?
Crystal, tell us her deep dark secrets. I'm seeing really
the
funny
stuff. Part is I just saw him. I looked in the chat and I was like, wait, I got private messages.
Fancy.
I love the Chelsea apparently is going to put some oils on her husband's toes, and Crystal's going to try that for her son. Maybe warn them. Don't let them be asleep and you're like,
thank you for telling me that, Crystal. I had no clue.
Well, I will tell you a story about Valor. I had heard, and I've actually seen some videos where this guy was like in a recliner snoring, and his wife put Valor under his nose and he stopped snoring. And I've seen it with a baby, like crying and crying and crying, and they just put the Valor bottle near the baby's nose and the baby stopped crying. It was kind of incredible. And there's another story that I won't tell right now, but Johnny was snoring one night, and I got up and I creeped over, and I had the Valor bottle right in front of his face. And I swear to you, he stopped. But I'm sitting there like with my watch trying to get enough light to see. Oh, it does work.
We'll be creeping up on you in some
all right, Rach, what are your questions?
There you go. I sent
dogs
it.
And thyroid.
I'm so slow at typing on my iPad.
But I don't know what you want to know.
It was because that was for like the original first question when y'all were asking like, oh, what's some stuff that you would want to know oils about? So
Gotcha.
like
That makes sense.
And then I just remembered I used to live with Soph, and so I remember that book too, the manual that you'd pull out all the time.
And several of us here have thyroid issues.
Yes.
So
two things on that. We do have an animal sense line. Okay. So we have several things that are perfectly safe for your pets. We have like an ointment, we have shampoo, we have a few oils that are specifically for pets, we have treats, that kind of thing. Second thing, Lindsay's got the animal sense ointment. She doesn't have any animals, fun fact, but it's gentle and safe for humans to use as well, and it's a really good one. But also for thyroid, that is another reason to get the app, everybody, because there's a lot of phenomenal information in the app for your thyroid. So there's like different supplements, different like nutritional like pieces of information, really good oils. There's one called Indoflex that I roll over my thyroid every day. Mom's gonna, Mom, don't do like the 10-minute spiel. Do the like, I'm just kidding. Mom literally is like phenomenal at talking about thyroid stuff because she has had so many issues and she's had like several year journey of getting it together. So seriously, she's my wealth of knowledge. The app is when Mom doesn't text me back immediately. Like that's where I go second. But anyway, Mom, what were you gonna say?
I was just raising my hand saying I've got thyroid issues. But that was actually kind of the start of a lot of my health journey, is finding out that I had Hashimoto's. And there is Indoflex, like Sophie talked about. I use Endogize, which is a supplement that has DHEA in it, which is a precursor hormone. There are creams that have pregnenolone in it, also precursor hormone. And why am I talking about hormones? Because thyroid is a hormone. It's one of our hormones, but I use the Endoflex on my adrenals on my back in the morning, and I use it on my thyroid at night. If your thyroid is okay, Endoflex is great for all hormonal support, but you don't want to roll it on your thyroid all the time because your thyroid's okay. So you could actually end up getting kind of a little scratchy throat if you do that. And I'm actually doing an Endoflex challenge right now, so I'm learning even more, but there's a lot that we could talk about. And when I say thyroid, I have Hashimoto's low. Other people have Graves', which is high, and Endoflex is good, because this is a great way of explaining. Essential oils are adaptogenic. Adaptogenic. Your body actually does with that essential oil what your body needs. And so helichrysum is a great, if you have anything related to blood issues, like if you have a cut, you can use helichrysum and it'll help it stop. If you had a need for your blood to flow a little bit better, you use helichrysum. Same oil to help stop or go, just like Digest. We use Digest if we need to go, and we do it in a clockwise motion. And if we need to stop, we do it in a counterclockwise motion. But you were also, Rachel, you were wondering about dogs. Did you have a question about dogs, or you were just saying that was one of your questions earlier, or your overall? Because I know you have Cruchy.
Yeah. Oh, Crucial. No, nothing specific. It was just in general ones that kind of help with them. And my roommate actually uses it for the dog that has problems with thunderstorms. Yeah. And it seems to help kind of calm her down a little bit too.
I've been using CBD on mine, and it has helped her tremendously with her anxiety. I was using it for pain, and it actually has almost completely cured her of thunderstorm worries.
Cool.
And we have CBD, by the way. Yes.
Does anyone have any oils that you would recommend for lupus? So I have lupus, but it's cutaneous, so it's supposed to be skin lupus. So basically, I'm allergic to the sun.
Okay.
So I break out into hives and I have to be really careful. Like I have to use an umbrella to walk from my car to the store.
A lot of autoimmune have problems with the sun. That's a common thing.
All right, so I'm looking it up in this essential oil pocket reference guide. There is a section on it. It's page 290 for those who have the colorful one. Just an FYI. And it is saying there's several. So like in the kit itself, there's lavender, Valor, Panaway, RC, and then this isn't in the kit, but Endoflex, which is what we've been talking about. So there's several oils, but then there's also six or seven different supplements that we have that would actually really help with it. It was Hannah that invited you, right? Yeah, Hannah will break Hannah can totally break all that stuff down for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
And we got about 5 minutes left. We can get another question in if anybody has one, but we do need to wrap it up because we don't want to go over the hour.
I think Brenda has a question, but I don't know if she knows to unmute herself. She looks like she wants to say something.
I can't unmute you.
Hang on, let me see.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
What was the second resource you told us about?
I talked about the Facebook group.
About what?
Our Facebook group, is that what you're talking about? I mentioned the pocket reference, the Facebook group, and then the Life Steps app.
Facebook. Okay.
Yeah.
I missed that. How do I get on the Facebook group?
I believe I have added you. I'll go see, and if not,
Okay.
it'll come up in your notifications. You can search for it. I'll send you some information. I'll get you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And also, what's good for migraines? I don't know what kind of migraines, but a friend of mine has migraines.
Well, we have an oil called M grain, the letter M grain.
Uh-huh.
It would be good for migraines. There's also things like she needs to probably have more magnesium. Magnesium, if you get enough magnesium, a lot of times that can eliminate. And I heard something recently that somebody was doing for migraines. So there's various things that sometimes we just kind of need to know what the source of the migraine is.
Right.
Like if it's hormonal, we might need to start thinking about balancing hormones.
Okay, thank you. Y'all are great. Appreciate you.
Anybody else?
Where is it? Melanie asked about eczema, so I'm looking up in here.
One of the things with eczema I know is that you need to make sure that you're alkaline, that your system is alkaline. And we do have a supplement called Alkalime, but you can drink alkaline water, for instance. But if your system is acidic, that starts hurting your skin, whether it's psoriasis or eczema, those two things. So I know that Alkalime would be one of the supplements. Hannah, are you there yet?
No, not yet.
I have looked it up in the past because I have a nephew that has it.
Hi, ladies. This is Melanie. So yes, I eczema for myself as an adult, and then eczema for my 5-year-old. Just interested in seeing what can help for both of us. Alkaline, I've heard of that before, so I'll do some continued research on that. But I was just interested if there's.
You can actually go to if you want to know if you're acidic or alkaline, your body. You can go and get some test strips at just a pharmacy, over the counter, and that will help you start with. But you can also use, we have Detox Zyme, ICP, Comfort Tone, Essential Zyme. Getting your gut in good shape is very, very important. A lot of those would be. We also have rose ointment, and Lindsay, wherever you are, hold up that animal scent ointment again. It would be great for their skin. I just read a story the other day where a lady said it was her son, severe skin issues, and she used rose ointment, and overnight, like in one spot, because she didn't want to add anything to his problem, that one spot almost like healed overnight. No, we can't say anything healed. We can't say that, but you know what I mean? It looked so much better. And so she called and got like 7 jars of that. Since then, she has figured out she had to fix his gut. In other words, he had gut problems, his stomach. And so she fixed the source of the problems, which helped. So dairy, you've got to stay away from. Sugar, you've got to stay away from. I know he's not drinking alcohol, but if you have any adult drinking alcohol, they have to stay away from it. That contributes heavily. So those are just some of my suggestions.
Excuse me, Peggy, what did you say that was?
What did I say? What was? I'm sorry.
What they were using for that and said it worked great? Was
The
it rose
ointment.
something?
The rose ointment. See, she's showing it. It's your daughter that's showing it.
Well, how come you didn't tell me about that before, Lindsay?
She might not have known that was what it would be.
No, Nicole gets me this for when my ears. Hannah was telling us for when my ears get really like chapped
Yeah.
because of my gauges. Like if I put this on, like they're really chapped since my base is starting to peel. If I put this on tonight and then tomorrow morning, by tomorrow night, my ears will be fine. Instead of like some of the other stuff like Neosporin and stuff I was putting on there. It was really oily and it would take a couple days for it to work, but this, it's like, it sucks it right up. So
It's awesome.
Oh, okay.
And
there's a bunch of it in here, so I'll give you some next time I see you.
use it's like kind of hard because it's almost like beeswaxy, but you just put your finger in it and get it going, or stir it up with a little bit of stick. There's also the animals from our Animal Sense line. There's called the Animal Sense ointment. It's a bigger jar. It's very similar to the rose ointment, but I would probably add in things that are are good for the skin, like frankincense from the kit, lavender from the kit. But the rose ointment has some oils in it, but it is awesome. But you've also got to think about internally what's going on. You got to get your alkalinity, get from acidic to alkaline, and you got to get your stuff. You got to get your gut healed. It's key, and things like that. You got to look at things like dairy. You got to get rid of it. You probably got to get rid of gluten. You probably need no alcohol. Seriously, those things are sugar triggers, big triggers for skin issues.
Denise, have you ever used that face cream that I made? Like it has frankincense in it.
Oh, okay. I still have that.
Yeah.
Oh, let me show her the hair oils.
Well, I will stay on here. Hannah probably needs to go.
I have another call.
She has another call to go to. I'll
Thank you, everyone.
Try to field some questions, but I also want to let y'all go if you need to go. You just say goodbye, wave to us, and leave if you need to leave.
Thank you, everybody, so much for coming. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
I'm
you.
leaving here. I got another class or another meeting.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies.
Bye. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
I'm glad y'all were here. Thanks for coming. And reach out to whoever invited you if you have questions. We will at least pick up our book and look.
Can I ask one more question before you go?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Can you tell me more about Melaleuca or like the tea tree oil? Like
Yes.
what do you like? I have some, but I don't really. Other than I drop it around the bathroom, and the bathroom smells bad, and like I put it on like my husband's athlete's toenail, but I don't know what else to do with it.
Okay. Number one, don't give it to your animals.
I don't have any, except for a
Okay.
hamster, but I don't really give him anything.
So it's one that is extremely controversial. It's one that will really come up. So I just stay away from it with animals. But the way I use it, I have it really by my sink in the bathroom. And if I get a breakout, first thing I use is tea tree oil. It's great for the foot issues. Like, you know, if you have, or even your fingernails, if you get fungal issues, it's great for that. It's great for like I put it in a rinse for my hair. I will use apple cider vinegar, water, and I put tea tree oil, and I put like rosemary also in it. And after I've washed and put a little conditioner on my hair, because I only wash my hair about once a week, I pour that over my hair and leave it on. Like right now, if my hair got wet, it smelled like apple cider vinegar. So that's another way I use it. It's excellent for preventing lice. So if you make up a spray with it, like water, tea tree oil, put something that'll help it emulsify, like a witch hazel or salt. Make sure your witch hazel is pure, doesn't have anything else in it. And then spray, comb it through for lice prevention. If you're dealing with lice, it still helps, but you got to do more steps. You got to do a lot more steps.
Okay.
Lice is a big deal. So I personally wouldn't diffuse it. Not that it's a bad thing. I just don't love the smell of it. To me, it smells like turpentine. So I don't love the smells. When I hear these stories about these animals that have like horrific reactions to oils, they always talk about tea tree, because somebody's just Googled it and said what oil would be a bad thing. And then they make up these drama stories and they tell them, and they're not real stories. They're not true, probably. But if you put it in a diffuser, and I would have to put something else with it. Although you could do it and maybe cleanse the air, but I would put something else with it because I just don't love the smell of it.
Okay.
So, and also I could look it up in here. This reference that we talk about is just a really great tool. It was the first tool I got when I didn't know anything. And I finally just started begging, like, somebody please tell me there's got to be something. This is not published by Young Living. Therefore, the information in it, like, we can't say certain things because the FDA says it. Young Living doesn't say certain things, all right? This can say those things because it's not a company that Young Living owns. So it is a third party saying the things. But I could look up in here, or Melaleuca in here.
Is that something from Amazon, or how would I find that?
You can, who invited you to the class?
Hannah.
Okay. If you sign up with Hannah, I think she'll give you one. I get this from a company that published it called Life Science. You could buy it from Life Science, and I think it's cheaper from Life Science than it is from Amazon, which is usually not the case. Usually Amazon's cheaper. But but like if I look up Melaleuca, there's actually different Melaleucas. This is Melaleuca. Okay, it says to look up tea tree. If y'all don't mind, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording. So